And increase was with keto. The significant dips were with paleo and Whole30.
Questions about plant-based diets were in this year's survey for the first time, which 75% of consumers said they were at least a bit familiar with.
Over half, 51%, say that they're interested in learning more. So a pretty good percentage of consumers are interested in plant-based diets generally.
Consumers' definitions of plant-based diets varied from vegan to vegetarian to eating as many vegetables as possible. I'm Julie Harker with Healthy Living on Brownfield.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Sponsored by Case Legal Media. Attention. This is an important message for anyone that has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers. The Internal Agency for Research on Cancer warned that overexposure to Roundup and other weed killers may increase the risk of developing non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Monsanto, the manufacturer of Roundup, may have known that Roundup and other weed killers were likely linked to organ damage and cancer. This information was hidden from the public as proprietary trade secret since 1981, and Monsanto may have failed to warn of the potential risk of cancer. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call us now at 800-715-3913. Our network of attorneys are ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call now for a free consultation at 800-715-3913. You must protect your legal rights. Call 800-715-3913. Again, 800-715-3913.
I'm Jamie Brundage, owner of Historic Bruce Funeral Home. We're a full-service funeral home with an off-site crematory. At Bruce's, we specialize in pre-arrangements and family support before, during, and after the service. We also offer beautiful memorial items to help you remember your loved one forever. Bruce Funeral Home is proud to be by your side every step of the way throughout the funeral process. Historic Bruce Funeral Home, Fort Dodge.
If you're drowning in IRS tax debt, please get ready to take down this number to take advantage of the new IRS tax forgiveness programs. The IRS has recently hired private debt collection agencies to start collecting your outstanding taxes.
Prior to calling Superior Tax Relief, I owe the IRS $33,000, and my wages had just been garnished. Superior Tax Relief put a stop to the garnishment and was able to resolve my tax problem. I walked away owing close to nothing. I would highly recommend Superior Tax Relief. They saved my life.
We can protect you from the added fees and negotiate your tax liability. Superior Tax Relief can set you free from your tax issues. Call Superior Tax Relief to find out how you can qualify for the Fresh Start program that's now available. Don't hesitate. Call today. Call 800-711-5099. The consultation is free. The information is free. This call could save you thousands. Call 800-711-5099. 800-711-5099. That's 800-711-5099.
Michael Devine, the mayor of Manville.
It's a fancy title for a part-time job.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
Okay, that's right. I'm the mayor of Manville. With me now is, the governor of garbage. Jason Slinker's here. And Jason's manager of the North Central Iowa Regional Solid Waste Facility. Is that
Agency.
Right?
You were so
Agency.
close. So close.
I blew it on the facility thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you. I don't know if you heard earlier, but Menke and I talked a little bit about this yesterday. There's a lot of confusion in town about what to do with all these plastic bags if we can't put them in recycling anymore. And the last time you were here, you told me to go to a grocery store. I tried that, and it didn't work out that well. What we need is a couple of places in town where we can take these plastic bags if that's what you want.
Mhm.
But we're not hearing anything about that, and a lot of people are frankly questioning it.
Yeah. And yeah, to my knowledge, that I can go talk to the retailers, but last time I checked, a lot of them had those bins out front to again capture them, keep them out of the regular recycling stream.
I think Fairway had one. Didn't see one at Hy-Vee, and I asked the people at
Yeah.
Hy-Vee. Didn't see one the day I was there, and I took several plastic bags. Is it just plastic bags that are the concern, or?
Well, there's a lot of things for the curbside recycling, but the plastic bags were by far the biggest issue with where they're going, and getting mixed into and tangled up into the equipment.
What changed just last year? We were able to put plastic bags in recycling.
Well, it's not that, it's more or less that people weren't saying anything. They were tolerating it, more or less.
We didn't know to do anything wrong.
And that's right. That's kind of where, now that the stuff is getting processed domestically, American hands are dealing with this stuff. And with the markets falling in the cardboard and paper markets, now you have these people that were sitting behind a desk, running the show, not really seeing this stuff. All of a sudden their margins go away, and now they start looking at facilities and seeing, okay, what are we doing here? And now it's trickling back down to everybody. And I wanted to come on just because last week Waterloo had an issue with their curbside recycling program,
right.
where they had to go to a different vendor. They're scrambling to, they're paying going to be paying $150 to $180 a ton, just for recycling. That's triple what the tonnage fee is down at the landfill. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to them financially, but I want Fort Dodge to stay ahead of it by reducing the contamination so that we don't lose our end user and make sure that we're producing a viable product.
So what do we need to do?
So when it comes to the bags, and I'll have to talk to some of those retailers, because at the bottom of almost every grocery bag that's out there, it says return to retailer.
Yeah, the retailers might be getting sick of being a recycling center. They're already not happy about
the bottle
having to take the cans. Yeah.
So, but if that's the case, and when it comes to recycling, if you don't have an end user, you're not recycling. So, there's a lot of stuff that gets thrown away that, people, I've talked about that wish cycling before, where, people throw it in the bin, they walk away, and, they think that they saved the earth. But, when Fort Dodge went to those big, the big containers, away from those smaller blue tubs, well, the fact of the matter is, a lot of the times they're probably still only putting that much of what's actual, viable material in those bins.
All right. Well, we're going to have to go to the news. We'll find out more about this. Jason Slinker's here. County Supervisor Campbell will be here. This is KVFD Fort Dodge, Iowa.
Another rate cut, but he downplays any expectation for a string of cuts. The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all down more than 1% today, their worst day since May. President Trump, who's been highly critical of recent rate hikes, not satisfied with today's quarter-point cut or the Fed chair's remarks, tweeting a short time ago that Powell let us down. Investigators are downplaying reports of a possible motive in last weekend's deadly festival shooting in Gilroy, California. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal is live in L.A.
Lisa, FBI Special Agent in charge John Bennett had this to say when asked if they found white supremacist writings at the shooter's apartment in Nevada.
That is erroneous and incorrect information.
He said they are following threads of online conversations he was having and are asking FBI behavioral profilers to assess what they've found. As for a book that the shooter told his Instagram followers to read that advocates racist and sexist ideologies.
The book that you're referencing is something from 1896. I'm not sure that's really a high dollar reading right now, and that is information that anybody can put out.
3 people were killed at this festival, including a 6-year-old boy and 13-year-old girl. Lisa,
thanks, Jessica. This is Fox News.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. I've got great news. Mortgage interest rates have dropped. So if you're thinking about buying a home, right now is the time to lock that low rate, even before you find the home of your dreams. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
A member of the president's cabinet visits Baltimore amid the controversy over the president's recent criticism of the city and its congressman, Elijah Cummings.
There are a lot of excellent, wonderful people here. And there are a lot of good places here in Baltimore as well.
But HUD Secretary Ben Carson also says
there are problems and we can't sweep them under the rug.
Though he also stops short of defending the president's language, described by some critics as racist, Carson appealing for unity to solve the city's problems. Search and rescue operations continue near China Lake, California, after the crash of a Navy fighter jet. Just the pilot on board, and so far that pilot's status is not known. The cause of the crash is also under investigation. A football Hall of Famer and legendary linebacker for the Miami Dolphins has died. Nick Buoniconti was 78.
A two-time Super Bowl champion with Miami, Buoniconti was part of the 1972 no-name defense of the Dolphins that helped the team complete the NFL's only perfect undefeated season at 17-0. Buoniconti inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2001, the same year he retired as co-host of HBO's Inside the NFL. In 1985, Nick co-founded the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis after his son Mark sustained a spinal cord injury in a college football game. Nick Buoniconti helped raise nearly $500 million for spinal cord injury research. 2017, he went public with his fight against dementia and said upon his death, he would donate his brain to aid research of CTE. Jared Max, Fox News.
Also word today that one of Broadway's greats has died. Hal Prince won 21 Tony Awards as a director and producer, known for groundbreaking shows from West Side Story to Cabaret, Phantom of the Opera, and Sweeney Todd. Hal Prince was 91. Marquee lights on Broadway dimming tonight in his honor. Fox News.
Your news, your town. Your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
With your KVFD News update, I'm Rob Jones. Webster County Sheriff Jim Stubbs said yesterday the department is looking into possible leads in the ongoing search for a suspect who over the weekend crashed a truck that is believed to have been stolen out of Iowa County. After crashing the 2007 Chevy Silverado this past Saturday, it's believed that the man ran into a cornfield. He then later was picked up on surveillance footage on Sampson Avenue. Law enforcement believes the suspect entered a motor home in the area looking for keys to a nearby shed. That incident was reported to local law enforcement. A description of the man has been released. He's believed to be a middle-aged Caucasian, about 6 feet tall with a heavy build. He was last seen wearing a plaid button-up shirt and dark-colored pants. Sheriff Stubbs says the department has various leads, but nothing concrete as of yet. Anyone with information on the suspect is urged to call Webster County Sheriff's Office at 515-573-1410. That's 515-573-1410. Fort Dodge City Manager David Furyk was a guest on Divine's Intervention with Mike Divine. He spoke about a plethora of topics. Here's his comments in regards to plans for the old Sears building in the Crossroads Mall.
The Sears owners are wanting the city to do, rebate their TIF and they'll pay for the demolition, and then they have a potential project online for another business, and then there'll probably be several businesses that won't be adjacent to each other, like a strip mall, like what was planned a couple of years ago with Hutton, but more independent businesses, maybe a couple on, there'll probably be either a private drive or some sort of street kind of going probably right through where the Sears would be now to make that connection. So we'll see a couple businesses there. So I think we talked about it a little bit this morning. I think we're going to have a public hearing again on that project on the 12th. Things do move slow and methodical in government. I know we don't have a formal development agreement approved.
Fort Dodge will again be putting on National Night Out coming up next week. This year's edition of the event will be next Tuesday, August the 6th, in the city square here in Fort Dodge, just outside the public library, from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Fort Dodge Police Officer Joe Lynn Johnson said the event is a collective effort to help lessen crime in the community. Johnson says the Webster County pork producers will be there with food on hand as well. Fort Dodge City Square will host the event for the second time. Johnson says the City Square provides a well-maintained, spacious, and centralized location. National Night Out's objective is to promote partnerships between law enforcement and the community. For KVFD from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Rob Jones.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun this afternoon with a high of 79. Winds out of the southeast 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows around 61. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high of 81. Temps near average Friday and Saturday with highs in the low 80s. Chance for scattered storms Friday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 75.
Warning: if you're buried in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies make you think you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Answers at 800-970-5932. If you're struggling to pay off your debt, do not let the credit card companies make you think you have to. Call Credit Answers now for free information on how to get out of debt faster than you ever thought possible, without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We offer a guarantee with no upfront fees, so there's no risk. For free information, visit creditanswers.com or call 800-970-5932. That's 800-970-5932.
When severe weather threatens, keep it here for the Severe Weather Advisor. Brought to you by Creative Signs and Graphics Fort Dodge. For signs, decals, vehicle graphics, magnets, logos, customized documents, and more. If your business needs it, Creative Signs and Graphics can make it. And a stitch above the rest embroidery, Fort Dodge. Step out in style with quality brands, timely turnaround, and professional service. A stitch above the rest. Embroidery professionals worth finding. Remember, when severe weather threatens, stay with your friends on KVFD.
Michael Devine at AM 1400
In the name of justice and the American way of life.
with 60 rounds of freedom.
Okay, this is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice for Dodge. I'm Michael Devine. If you'd like to join the program, it's, perfectly all right. Call 515-955-1400. That's 515-955-1400. I was in contact with Webster County Supervisor Mark Campbell within the last hour, and he said he'd be here by 4, but I don't see him. So we still have Jason Slinker here, and Jason Slinker is the manager of the North Central Iowa Solid Waste
Regional.
Regional!
Last time it was the agency part. Now
it's just
regional.
so confusing. Can't we just say the city dump? No.
Regional Recycling Center.
Regional
if you want to get
Recycling
to
Center.
my specific title, yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know what happened to Mark Campbell, but he's not here. All I know is he's not here. So there we go. North Central Iowa Regional Recycling Agency.
It's all right. Hey, you can just
Solid
give up.
Waste
Just
Agency.
there, close
Yeah,
enough.
gosh, what a name. Jeez. Anyway, Jason is here. We need to talk again about plastic bags because a lot of people are getting a little freaked out about it. The county kind of sounds like they want to crack down. I mean, all these sorts of things. And we don't know we're doing anything wrong by putting plastic bags in the recycling bin.
Yeah,
That's what we've been doing.
And plastic bags, we have been hitting that pretty hard lately, but the city of Fort Dodge has been working with the oops tags. You've seen the orange tags out.
Yeah, I got it right here. I have it on my profile picture.
I saw that. That's kind of what got me to come out here. So worked out.
Well, okay.
But yeah, I mean the bags are a problem. They are getting. I have noticed it getting better in the stream. Within the recycling. Today was getting better. I know that the city was turning quite a bit of stuff, and I did receive a good amount of phone calls, and most of them in a pretty good conversation. Just like I said, it's just an education thing, and we need to as a community, stay on the front side of this recycling crisis so that we don't lose.
So you use words like crisis. We don't know what the crisis is. We didn't know we were in a crisis.
Well, if we want,
What are you, a Democrat?
Oh, far from it.
Like Jason's running for president.
I'm just being proactive. I see these, see some of these other communities losing their recycling end users. So we need to.
What is a recycling end user?
Well, whoever takes the material and makes it into something else. And if we don't have a viable material that we're sending out, then you may think it's getting recycled, may have a blue lid on it, but in the end, if we don't have an end user, then it's going to be either ending up in our landfill or in somebody else's. And that's kind of where before people were tolerating, a certain amount of contamination, but really we were just passing the buck. It wasn't filling up my landfill, but it was maybe filling up, the one by Lamar's or, the one elsewhere, and as a country, when we were sending our recycling over to China and we were doing a pretty bad job about it, we were just filling up their space. So now it's back on us. So we got to do better.
We were sending them to China.
A lot of the plastics. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
What were they doing with it?
A lot of it, what they couldn't make into material, they're just burning it. And well, you kind of seen what that's doing to their environment.
So we paid them to take it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. But they decided they didn't want it anymore.
Yeah, because the Port Authority, they weren't really doing when it's all compressed baled material. You can't necessarily see what's all in it. So then by the time it got over there, it was already shipped overseas. So they're kind of stuck with it.
Okay. So we're really, I know nothing about this subsidy at all. You talked about
a lot of people don't. That's why that's
practically everybody.
Yeah.
You may be the only guy in town who does. I don't know. Do the supervisors know?
Yeah.
Okay. The supervisors know the whole story.
Yeah. A lot of the our executive board is compiled of different supervisors.
Who do you have on your board now?
Well, Mark Campbell is one.
No show Mark.
Yeah. But we have different officials from all the communities, a majority of them, and then we do have our annual full board meeting where all 42 towns are supposed to be represented, and we at least need to have a majority of them to be there in order to pass things.
Sure. Okay. So we're in this new era, and you would like us to take plastic bags and what other material?
When it comes to Fort Dodge specifically, is we do still see a lot of yard waste. People putting in the grass clippings, the tree clippings, things like that end up in there that really shouldn't. Garden hoses, the tanglers. That's garden
Tanglers.
hoses. Yeah, maybe vinyl tubing, rubber tubing, the strapping from your packaging, like those nylon straps, that kind of stuff. It's just, in a perfect world, if it was all isolated and there was enough overhead to hold on to that material, and could it be recycled? Possibly, but with that volume of stuff that comes in with that curbside single stream, we're bringing in close to between 20 and 25 tons just today. So
really,
that's a lot of material to go through. And when the facility up in Lamar's that actually processes it, once we bale up the material, they're processing close to that much, between 40 60 tons, actually separating it all over the course of one day, because they deal with Fort Dodge, they deal with the Lamar's, Sioux City, and a lot of the small surrounding
Lamar's
areas.
does, because Lamar's is not that big a town. They got a big center up there to
yeah.
handle all this stuff.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just up there about a month ago to see after they did some expansion, and then just to talk to them about what issues they're seeing, because you got to have transparency. That's what I told them. I can't fix a problem unless you don't tell me there's a problem. So I want to make sure that again we're ahead of things so that we don't end up just having them shut the door on us.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So who is our how did you describe it? Who is our end vendor, or
Van Sanitation is what
Van Sanitation is that in Lamar's?
Yep.
And what does Lamar's do when they receive our plastic?
They'll break it. They'll break the stuff down. They'll separate between the papers, plastics, cardboards, cans, the glass, and all that. And then they have markets that they move it to, either if it's in Sioux City or
right
wherever.
Okay.
So
all right. Our guest is Jason Slinker of the North Central Iowa Regional Solid Waste Agency.
First time, got it.
I think I might get it after all these years. And we're talking about what we need to do with plastic now, and hoses and the plastic straps that come in a lot of Amazon packages.
Yep.
That sort of thing. So we need to keep those separate. And once we have them separated,
well, those things should be going to the waste stream. They shouldn't be in the recycling. We need to have that when in doubt.
Go to the out. Well, how do we get it to the waste stream?
We put it in the can to the next to it. The garbage can, not the recycling can.
We can put plastic bags in the garbage. I mean,
yeah,
really,
yeah. I mean, that's where we want, because that stuff. Then it's when it's going just into a garbage truck, it's getting going down to the landfill. It's not going through the different types of automation and conveyors that it does during the recycling process, where it's detrimental.
So we can put hoses in this and plastic bags in the garbage,
because it's ending up there anyway. You're increasing the amount of labor, from our end and from the area in Lamar's as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here, let's go to the phones. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, the guy that's come from the center there, he should have brought in a big piece of cardboard and crayons, because when he's talking to a Republican, he needs all the help he can get to explain.
I'm a conservative. A conservative. Stop being a liberal. He's been telling me he hates to listen to me and will never listen to me again for years.
And yeah, here he is.
He's one of my favorite liberals, by the way. Well, okay, so we don't necessarily have to take plastic bags out to one of the retail people. Jerry Beck, my buddy from Pheasants Forever, told me that the First United Methodist Church takes it. But I'm sure.
And that's great, because that's reusing. We go reduce, reuse, recycle. So if you do have a lot of the second hands, the thrift stores and stuff, they use those because they're smaller. They don't produce them. They don't purchase them. So they'll use them to food pantries, things like that.
Well, I will tell you, Supervisor Dinklaw, and I wish I could have helped the weekend that he did this, but I was out of town for some reason. I don't know if it was a friend or one of his constituents has got the farm field out by Walmart. And he said, well, Walmart's plastic bags are getting out in this guy's field, and it's a big problem. And I thought, well, I'm going to go out and have a look. Man, I couldn't believe it. I don't know how that guy was going to, plant or disc or a combine at all, because the field was just full of plastic bags and junk in general.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Myself and my kids went and helped. And
did you?
Yeah. They'd pick up. It was pretty windy that day, so when we'd have a trash bag to collect them, it was about taking away my 4-year-old.
Sometimes it helps to go out and see what's being talked about. Oh, you got a few plastic bags in your field, big deal, get over it. That's not what the situation was at all. I mean, how many people were out there?
Probably 18, 2 dozen. So
how long did it take you to clean up the field?
About 2.5, 3 hours. So
yeah.
We did all the one from Target and kind of did, and from the middle school, all those all around there.
I don't know who the landowner is. I don't. But Keith was kind of organizing this thing, and I was just amazed. And we have a real problem with just plastic blowing around our town. There's some businesses let their trash barrels get too full. We have the problem here in this neighborhood. Before you know it, we got plastic cups and plastic bags blowing all over the place. I don't know if they don't arrange to have their trash picked up regularly or on time or what, but
I know the main Fort Dodge, the main street. I was helping out with them, trying to figure out some different ways to help. They were going to talk about the businesses, maybe doing some flash cleanups and things like that to try to.
What's a flash cleanup? Is that what you guys did out in the field there by Walmart?
No, they would basically have a certain a reminder for a certain time of the day that everybody on downtown here would try to get out and clean and clean their front of their businesses.
Yeah.
So trying to get some things in there, get people enthused and take some pride
in
what we got. So
Well, I think people are willing to do that. We just, again, if you don't know, I have, you've used the word critical or emergency here a couple of times, and who knew? We don't know.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, sometimes I feel like the Lorax. Here I am.
The Lorax.
I speak for the trees, and that's what I'm trying to be a voice for it, so that we don't.
You don't
lose
look like a
some of these
Lorax.
abilities.
I'll give you that. You don't look like a Lorax. Really.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you came out. What else is going on at the agency?
Well, we just got a new boss today, so we got a new COO.
You have a new boss.
Yes, yeah. So for the whole agency, so that's exciting.
Who's that?
Mitzi Brunsvold. She's coming over from the landfill in North Iowa, in Mason City.
Oh,
so,
she's okay.
Yeah, so she has some experience in the field. She sits on the Iowa Recycling Association board, so definitely gonna be a good, very knowledgeable person to come into the agency and help us out here. So,
how many employees do you have out there?
I think total between the three divisions were like 27.
Are those all full-time people, or
no? There are a couple of part-timers. 3 of them, I believe.
Are you county employees?
No, we're at 2080, so we're not. I'm still IPERS, but we're not county because we serve a couple of counties. So
how many counties do you serve? Come on in, Mark. Yeah, here.
So we serve Webster, Humboldt, Calhoun, and then we do serve Eagle Grove out of Wright County, but that's it.
Okay.
Hamilton County.
So you're not county employee, you're regional recycling employees, or 20? Right. Is that what it is?
Yep. Yeah, we're at 2080.
28E?
Yep, where the different towns, they buy into the agency.
Okay.
For the ability to use the services.
Okay. Mark, I was surprised to hear that you're still on the board out there. You've been out there for years and years.
Believe me, I'm surprised to hear it too. So when you asked me to talk recycling, I'm like, wait a minute, you've got the professional here.
Well, I didn't know he was coming.
Oh, okay.
Menke and I talked about this earlier because there have, and Ferrick talked to me about it. I have the oops thing right here. And my profile picture is the oops thing.
Yeah.
And the oops are these red labels that, who puts these things out? Not the city guys.
Yeah, no, it is. So
it is the city guys.
Yep,
okay, when they do the trash, or
when they're picking up the recycling, if they're seeing issues, they're putting the tags out. It's got my office number and then the email. So, because the point of contact should be myself. Contacting the city. Some of them may be just as confused as you are about things. So I'd rather them address me personally. And talk to the people actually accepting and processing the material, not just the people involved in the collection.
Well, because I'm on the radio, people seem to think I know everything. Yeah. Trust me, I don't. Campbell will agree with that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we've proven that.
No, but I've had people. A woman in my neighborhood had one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And she what's this? I don't know. I have no. Well, don't you know from talking to those people? I don't know. But I've had a few calls as well. And Menke obviously has as a city councilman because he's got the same thing going on. So if you want to know what this oops thing looks like, it really is my profile picture at AM 1400 KVFD. That's kind of self-explanatory. And as Jason just said, has his email address and phone number out there at work. So we'll get the word out yet. I think somehow I think the county or whoever your agency got a little bit ahead of everybody.
We're trying to, yeah.
Really, I'm in favor. I'm all for recycling. I mean, I think we ought to do this. I think, and a lot of it is based on going out and looking at that farm field by Walmart. That was ridiculous out there. That was just, we turned that guy's field into a dump.
That's our job, not his.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, Jason, thank you very much for being here. County Supervisor Mark Campbell is here, and we'll talk with Mark next.
Michael Devine at AM 1400.
In the name of justice and the American way of life.
With 60 rounds of freedom.
Yeah, 427. The news is coming up. Then again, County Supervisor Campbell. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice for that.
Every month after paying my bills, I used to wonder if I'd have enough money left to buy groceries. Sometimes I did. A lot of times I didn't. Then I learned about 211. It's the number seniors can call for help finding food. With their help, I found a food pantry near me. Now I don't have to wonder if I'll be able to afford groceries because there's plenty of food for everyone. Call 211 for help finding healthy food near you. Brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Health.
Your news, your town, Your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
With your KVFD news update, I'm Rob Jones. Webster County Sheriff Jim Stubbs said yesterday the department is looking into possible leads in the ongoing search for a suspect who over the weekend crashed a truck that is believed to have been stolen out of Iowa County. After crashing the 2007 Chevy Silverado this past Saturday, it's believed that the man ran into a cornfield. He then later was picked up on surveillance footage on Sampson Avenue. Law enforcement believes the suspect entered a motor home in the area looking for keys to a nearby shed. That incident was reported to local law enforcement. A description of the man has been released. He's believed to be a middle-aged Caucasian, about 6 feet tall with a heavy build. He was last seen wearing a plaid button-up shirt and dark-colored pants. Sheriff Stubbs says the department has various leads, but nothing concrete as of yet. Anyone with information on the suspect is urged to call Webster County Sheriff's Office at 515-573-1410. That's 515-573-1410. Fort Dodge City Manager David Furyk was a guest on Divine's Intervention with Mike Divine. He spoke about a plethora of topics. Here's his comments in regards to plans for the old Sears building in the Crossroads Mall.
The Sears owners are wanting the city to rebate their TIF and they'll pay for the demolition, and then they have a potential project online for another business, and then there'll probably be several businesses that won't be adjacent to each other, like a strip mall, like what was planned a couple years ago with Hutton, but more independent businesses, maybe a couple on, there'll probably be either a private drive or some sort of street kind of going probably right through where the Sears would be now to make that connection. So we'll see a couple businesses there. So I think we talked about it a little bit this morning. I think we're going to have a public hearing again on that project in the 12th. Things do move slow and methodical in government. I know we don't have a formal development agreement approved.
Fort Dodge will again be putting on National Night Out coming up next week. This year's edition of the event will be next Tuesday, August the 6th, in the city square here in Fort Dodge, just outside the public library, from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Fort Dodge Police Officer Joe Lynn Johnson said the event is a collective effort to help lessen crime in the community. Johnson says the Webster County pork producers will be there with food on hand as well. Fort Dodge City Square will host the event for the second time. Johnson says the City Square provides a well-maintained, spacious, and centralized location. National Night Out's objective is to promote partnerships between law enforcement and the community. For KVFD from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Rob Jones.
Here's a look at how the markets closed today. September corn down 11 cents at $4.25. December down 11 at $4.10. March down 10.5 at $4.20.5, and May down 9.5 cents to $4.26. August soybeans down 14 3/4 to $8.64. September down 15 1/4 to $8.69. November beans down 15 1/4 to $8.81.5. January down 15 cents at $8.95. September wheat down a dime to $4.87 1/4. Soybean meal down $2.10 a ton at $2.98.20. August live cattle down $1.20 at $106.90. October down $1.42 to $107.65. August feeders down $1.57 at $141.52. September down $1.60 at $142.45. August lean hogs down $2.97 at $79.32, and October down the $3 limit to close at $71. From the farm desk, I'm Dwayne Murley.
From the Fox Business Network, the central bank cutting its key interest rate for the first time in a decade by 1/4 percentage point to a range of 2 to 2.25%. Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
The outlook for the U.S. economy remains favorable, and this action is designed to support that outlook.
It's the first rate cut since December of 2008 during the depths of the Great Recession. While the Fed left open the door for the central bank to cut rates again, Powell suggested that this cut wasn't the beginning of a long easing cycle, and investors not liking that news. With the major averages falling sharply, the Dow declining 334 points, the Nasdaq down 98, S&P 500 down 33. And the family behind Nordstrom is looking to strengthen its grip on the department store chain following a decline in its stock. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that members of the founding Nordstrom family are in the early stages of discussing a proposal to boost their roughly 1/3 stake to over 50%. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Hillary Barsky.
Baseball season is in full swing.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
It's a good thing Matt secured his denture with Super Poly Grip. Now he can enjoy the snacks as much as the game.
Poly Grip. Hey, how are you? So great to see you.
It's that time of year when the family meets up.
Hi, come on. Get together, guys. Family photo.
It's a good thing Jack cleans his denture with Polydent so he can enjoy the whole day with confidence.
Polydent.
Okay, this is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice for Dodge. First of all, in the weather, it's 73 degrees, a little cloudy. We'll probably have some rain later on. Overnight, mostly cloudy, low 61. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 82. Friday, a little rain. Other than that, sunny with a high of 80. On Saturday, sunny with a high of 82. Sunday, sunny, high 84. Monday, sunny with a high of 85. And Tuesday, it'll be sunny with a high of 84 degrees. Just perfect weather, really. 73 degrees again right now under a mostly cloudy sky at AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. Obituaries this hour brought to you by the historic Bruce Funeral Home at 923 First Avenue South, Fort Dodge. You may contact the historic Bruce Funeral Home by calling 515-576-5117 or online at www.brucesfuneralhome.com. Dean Konvalinka has died at the age of 69. Dean Konvalinka passed away earlier this week. His funeral is Friday here in town at 10 o'clock in the morning. Judith Macbeth of Vincent has died at the age of 76. Judy A. Macbeth of Vincent passed away on Saturday at the Fort Dodge Health and Rehab Center. A celebration of the life of Judy Macbeth will be held at a later date. The historic Bruce Funeral Home is handling the arrangements. Obituaries this hour brought to you by the historic Bruce's Funeral Home at 923 First Avenue South, Fort Dodge. You may contact the historic Bruce's Funeral Home by calling 515-576-5117 or online at www.brucesfuneralhome.com. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge, 434, 73 degrees.
Connect to this radio station from all across the country. Take us to the gym, shopping. How about a road trip? Listen to us now on the free iHeartRadio app. You'll never miss a moment with your favorite radio station. Download the free iHeartRadio app and search for this station so we can go wherever you want us to.
Blue Ribbon, Pelham Waters, your water pro since 1949.
Do you have questions about your water? What is a whole home filter? Is my softener working or not? Can I get rid of that red stain around the sink? I'm Brian with Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters. We're here to fix problem water. We'll work with you to find the right solution for you. We've been serving the Fort Dodge area since 1949. Let us serve your water treatment needs. Sales, service, rentals. Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters, your complete water store.
Mom, Dad, I'm getting married. That's wonderful, dear.
Congratulations. So have you decided on a date?
Yes, this Saturday. What? Are you serious? We need to plan. There's so much to do.
What about the church? The flowers, music, food, inviting everyone?
You would not want to be faced with those hurried decisions then. Why do that to your family with your own final arrangements? I invite you to sit down with us at Gunderson's to pre-plan your funeral. Pre-planning allows you to make thoughtful decisions with a clear mind. Give us a call at Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Fort Dodge.
Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Sponsored by Case Legal Media. Attention. This is an important message for anyone that has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers. The Internal Agency for Research on Cancer warned that overexposure to Roundup and other weed killers may increase the risk of developing non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Monsanto, the manufacturer of Roundup, may have known that Roundup and other weed killers were likely linked to organ damage and cancer. This information was hidden from the public as proprietary trade secret since 1981, and Monsanto may have failed to warn of the potential risk of cancer. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with cancer after being exposed to Roundup or other weed killers, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call us now at 800-715-3913. Our network of attorneys are ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call now for a free consultation at 800-715-3913. You must protect your legal rights. Call 800-715-3913. Again, 800-715-3913.
Michael Devine, the Doctor of Truth.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to confess?
At AM 1400 KV.
All right, this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. I'm Michael Devine, and if you'd like to join this program, it's 515-955-1400. Talk radio is great. I don't know if you heard this earlier. Mark Campbell is our guest. He's the Webster County Supervisor, of course. Guy called in. He's been calling me for years just to tell me how much I suck. But and he did it again today. What's that? Did we have a call? Oh, yeah, we do have a call. Maybe this is him again. Good afternoon. You're on the air at AM 1400 KVFD.
I got a question for Mark.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Out at the Always Speed Park, they got the fishing pond out there, and the water's going down, down, down. I heard it has a hole in it that's leaking out somewhere. I was wondering if there's any plans on fixing that or doing something with it.
Matt Cosgrove talked to us last year about it. It's a natural quarry. It was never man-made in respects to be a pond. It was a quarry that filled up with water. And he said that, sometimes they do start to drain themselves, and they're going to look into it, see what they can do. But there's currently no plan to go out and do any exploratory digging or anything like that.
Okay. All righty. That's all I
Thanks.
need to know. Thanks.
Thanks for using our park.
That's right. Thank you for your call. Please call if you have a question for County Supervisor Campbell, 515-955-1400. I know we have some things to talk about. I do want to talk about the clock tower.
Mm-hmm.
I talked with Keith a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, about it. Of course, Keith is adamant that we keep the clock tower, and I think he's convinced me. I was kind of asking him, that's a lot of money, and the courthouse is old. Maybe we should look at another building.
No.
Keith was not hearing it.
No,
and I think he's convinced me once again here.
And it's much more than just the clock tower. I mean, we're redoing all the slate around the roof, all of the flat roofing, the skylight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a huge skylight up there that people don't realize. So that's up there. The flat roof will be redone.
There is a skylight up there, isn't there?
Yep. So it's a bigger project. We've called it the clock tower. We probably should have branded it something else. It's actually the whole roof, including the clock tower.
Mhm.
And I'm really impressed with the number of people that are adamant that we need to redo the whole thing and be done with it, rather than do some now and some later. It's a big project.
Mhm.
So we're going to have an informational meeting next week during Market on Central. And
During Market on Central.
yes, we've worked with Market on Central to include the block in front of the courthouse this coming Market on Central, so people can come down. The courthouse will be open. We're going to have the engineer and architects on site. We have photos, video. Want people to learn more about the project and understand what we're trying to do and give us input on it.
And what is the date there?
I believe Market on Central is next. I got to look.
Yeah,
Dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Everybody's waiting with bated breath. Because I would like to hear. I think that would be interesting to hear and see. The next Market on Central is
Yeah, we're gonna have to look this up.
Okay. Maybe I have it written down here. I thought I had it written down here somewhere, but I don't. I have my next colon exam. That's great to see. God. Isn't that disgusting that you even have to have those
You're
things?
gonna highlight that
Oh,
one.
yeah. That's just great. Isn't it just, oh, God.
Market on Central, Thursday, August 8th, 4:30 to 7:30.
Okay. August 8th, 4:30 to 7:30. 8th, 4:30 to 7:30. I wonder what the Growth Alliance's plan is for Market on Central. They're going to keep it going or not? But
Yeah, they've changed it. They've done some nighttime markets to attract more people. They still
Yeah.
have Saturday markets.
Mhm.
Lydia does a tremendous job organizing it. It's
I
a
think she does, yeah.
Great committee. It's neat to have. There's a lot of communities that don't have it. You get a chance, go down to Gowrie. They had their market come fall.
They did.
They'll have it coming up. Yep.
Okay. Gowrie's always got something going on down there. They
Amazing
do.
community. Had
It
coffee
is.
there this morning and talked about the roof and the clock tower.
Well, you live halfway between.
I do,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Where do you go for coffee down there?
Gowrie, we go to the used to go to Marv's, but they're not open in the morning anymore. So we go down to the market.
Okay.
Supermarket.
All right. Informational meeting I think will be very interesting to hear and see. And that's August 8th in front of the courthouse during Market on Central, 4:30 to 7:30.
We will be in the courthouse.
In the courthouse.
Yep, we'll have it open.
Thank you very much for
Yes,
correcting
sir.
me. So that's something that's important to our town because the courthouse is so dominant on the city skyline. There's the Corpus Christi spire, which I think we're going to lose. There's a Corpus Christi spire. If you look at pictures from Fort Dodge 100 years ago,
Yep.
there's a Corpus Christi spire and the clock.
And the clock tower.
And the clock tower on the courthouse. And I think that that old church, I think, is going to come down. I hate to see that or even think about it, but I guess that's what's going to happen. It's, I think, one of the older churches in the state of Iowa, built in 1856.
I believe so.
But anyway, what else is going on in the county here?
Well, we've got that, and I'm glad the gentleman called in about the ATV park because our conservation department has been doing an amazing job at trying to catch up out there with the early rains and the amount of rain this year. It's been very challenging for them to keep that park trails groomed and maintained, so they're working diligently on that. It's camping season. There's a ton of people out camping. Want to celebrate a absolutely tremendous girls state softball. Thank you to all the volunteers. We have a new
That's a great thing, isn't it? Every year.
We were surprised by the number of teams that came down on their off times and played volleyball. So they were just excellent. Michael Payne's the new chair of the Park and Rec.
Michael Payne is.
Yes, he is, and he's working very hard at that. So it came off absolutely amazing, and they did a tremendous job, and we look forward to continued success with that. Camp Winoki, they continue growing down there with their plans. We purchased land on the Des Moines River to add another boat launch down in the Kalo area. Thank you very much to Dean Henderson and his family for selling some land off to us. They're absolutely amazing people, and it's going to be a great access. It'll get people off of parking on the road, and you'll be able to get in and out very easily. So hopefully that'll go to bid here next month and be up and going by early spring. And other than that, there's just a lot of little projects. Jamie Joel, our new engineer, is on top of our 5-year road plan and working diligently at keeping that going. So he has transitioned into that position incredibly well. And Randy did a tremendous job training him. And what a high bar to follow. So
just as an aside, Jason told me you have a new director out at the North Central Iowa Regional Solid Waste Recycling Agency.
Yes. Yes. Today is her first day, and I apologize. I know her first name's Mitzi, and I don't know her last name off the top of my head. She started today. We're very excited to have her. Had quite a few applications for that position. And
were you part of the interviewing group or?
No. They hired a gentleman in a firm, and he.
Oh, really?
Yes. And they did an absolutely amazing job, and looking forward to working with her. Comes with a lot of experience. Moved here from Mason City.
Yeah, that's what Jason said. She's got experience in the business, and that's got to be a nightmare of regulations.
Yes.
I mean, when you talk about the state and certainly federal regulations.
Oh, there is. And one thing to remember, I going back to the clock tower next week, it is from 6 to 7:30.
6 to 7:30.
6 to 7:30.
Okay.
So, yep. But yeah, the regulations are what people don't understand is years ago, it truly was just a dump. You took whatever you wanted to it. You threw it out of the back of your truck. They covered it with dirt and drove away.
And sometimes they started fires even.
Yeah, exactly. And because of that, new regulations were implemented. And now, there are certain landfills, and I see ours going to it in time, where you're going to separate your garbage. Trees and stuff are currently going to one area and garbage to another area. But if you get to some of the larger landfills over in eastern Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Lynn County is a great example of it, is you actually drop things off in different areas, plastics in one area, and they do the best they can to alleviate what is truly going to the landfill. They'll have dumpsters available, and they call them convenience centers. And you pull up and you throw out what goes into each dumpster, and then truly what is garbage or what's left of that can go to the face where they're actually burying it.
I have seen that. I have seen that in Cedar Rapids, as a matter of fact.
It does work well in respects to it helps the safety side of it too, because you have a lot of large equipment down at the face where they're truly burying the garbage. And for the person that's bringing just a small amount of garbage, we would like to possibly have a convenience center where they just go to a roll off, throw it in there, and they don't have to intermingle with the large equipment.
Yeah. So. Well, that's again, what a regulatory nightmare that is. What is? Jason even used the word a couple of times when he was here in the last segment about a crisis. What is the crisis that's driving all this? I mean, who believes this is a crisis? Is it somebody with a federal agency or a state agency or both? Or
crisis in respects to clean recyclables?
Or recycling in general. Mm-hmm. You just mentioned that it wasn't that long ago, at least not to my mind, of course,
right?
That we just kind of had garbage and we took it to the dump, and now it seems like every year or every few years or every 5 years, there's a new regulatory effort to get us to, as you say, separate garbage as Cedar Rapids does. I mean, is the environment taking that big a beating? Is this the federal people or?
Well, I mean, for us here, I mean, the most valuable thing we have at the landfill is space. And the faster we fill it up, we run out of that space, then we really are in a pickle. Or what do we do with everything? So our goal is not only to utilize that space to the best of our ability, but to figure out a way to not have everything going there. I mean, if we can take the plastics that come in and figure out a way to send them over to Western Iowa to the recycling companies over there that grind them and use them for different products, it's a win-win for everybody. Chemicals, our household hazardous waste facility, unbelievable what they've alleviated going to the landfill. And in doing that, hopefully there's not a fire. Iowa City, I believe it was a few years ago, had the big fire at their landfill. It's because chemicals and everything interacted out there. We try to alleviate as much of that as possible. So yeah, as we become more health conscious, safe conscious, and just other things, that we find out better ways to utilize the materials we have rather than just burying it. So
is a fire and the fumes that are produced by a fire, is that too toxic for today's standards? Or
yeah, I mean, I would think, one of the worst case scenarios at a landfill is a fire.
Yeah, you mentioned a fire down in Iowa City. I don't,
because you don't know what you're burning.
Remember many years ago, we had that big tire dump out there by the old Iowa beef plant, and there was a big fight over that, and there was an actual concern. I believe a fire did start out there somewhere. There was no way for the fire trucks to get out there and put it out. I could have seen where burning rubber would have been a problem.
Yeah, I mean, right downhill would have went straight into water sources. You have out there you would have the wastewater treatment plant.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, as we learn more and we're able to reuse and utilize our products over and over, why waste them and send them to the landfill when we can maybe do something better with them that's better for everybody.
Every now and then I see something on ocean pollution. It's just staggering. I mean, that's a worldwide problem. So the United States isn't completely responsible for all that, but for years and years and years, the major East Coast cities used to have garbage barges that they take all the city garbage about once a week. And let's talk New York City, huge barges, and they just take it out a couple of miles and dump it in the ocean.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, the seagulls would follow the barges around to eat the garbage on the way out there. But
and that's similar to us. We they've learned better ways to handle that now. New York City and other cities are some of the biggest recycling areas because of that, and we're learning how to do better things here with ours. I mean, we only have a limited amount of space, and we've got to do the best we can with it.
Well, even if you walk out into and I was talking about this with Jason, Keith organized an effort to clean up that farm field out by Walmart,
Yeah.
And he told me about it, and I thought, gosh, okay, I'm going to go out and see it. My God, it was terrible.
I mean, and the farmer's been great, but he kind of coined his own phrase of bags per acre. I get so many bags per acre. And so we were just recently traveling. We're out in Colorado, and it was interesting. In certain restaurants, they have no single-use items. You couldn't get a straw, no plastic utensils,
right?
Anything single-use, they've eliminated. And at first it was kind of, well, that's annoying. But by the second day, I mean, we were good with it.
Yeah.
So
do you still have straws down at Amigos?
I do still have straws.
Yeah.
Right. I have a feeling they'd throw me out if I try to get rid of them. But
is that right? There are a lot of people use them?
Yeah. More as a stir. Yeah. So, but I think we see less and less people doing it. So
yeah. Oh, to stir a drink. Yeah. As long as Kesterson's on Earth, I suppose they'll have to have one. Do you have bike night tonight or not?
I do. Yeah. The smoker's going.
Smoker's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, I hope to see everybody next week, or anybody that has a question, please reach out to your supervisor about the clock tower and the roof project. It will be if we do the whole project, probably about a year long, and 1 to 2 sides of the courthouse would be scaffolded during that time.
Right.
And, we have an absolutely beautiful landmark there that we want to take care of. But, this is a big ticket item. So
it's going to be in the millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. 8 to 10 million.
8 to 10.
Yeah. If we do the whole thing, we can do parts of it and do other stuff 20, 30 years from now, but what's
You're going to dive in.
What's the ticket going to be then? So, yeah.
So how are we paying for it? I mean,
we would obviously have to bond for it.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing about it is our LEC bond is about paid off. I believe we have a little over 2 years left on that, and we would probably just take our local option sales tax and put it right on that.
we have 2 years left in the LEC.
I think so.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that, but we're real close to the end of it. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I can't remember when we built that LEC now, but it's been a while.
Yep.
It's been a while.
Well, we built it a long time ago, but we just updated it a few years back.
Yeah.
went
Is that
through
what
it.
you're talking about
Yes.
as far as we
Yep.
bonded for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we probably, because I remember, it's the way my thinking at the time, wiped out Krinnigan's bar. Why you took out Krinnigan's bar?
Amazing the number of people that still know areas of town by what was there, though.
Oh, yeah.
I catch myself doing that. The old fairway.
The old fairway.
Yeah.
The old fairway for sure, or Big Bear out on Highway
Today,
20.
some of the coffee drinkers are talking about Ray's Meat Market. And man, I haven't heard that for a long time. Ray
No.
Alt, what an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And you think about all the little grocery stores and everything. So
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, God. Mike Breckwell's grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that? Fort Dodge Food and Grocery. That is, yeah, we're going back in time here. Anyway, County Supervisor Mark Campbell has been our guest. Thanks for being here, Mark.
Thank you very much.
All right. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge 453.
Scouting and spraying for Japanese beetles. Hello, everyone. I'm Rhiannon Branch with Managing for Profit on Brownfield. Although populations of Japanese beetles have decreased this season compared to last, many corn and soybean fields are still impacted by the pest. In this Managing for Profit, a Bayer Crop Sciences representative will walk us through scouting procedures and management practices to help keep Japanese beetles from robbing yields from your fields. More after this on Brownfield.
The following message has been paid for by the Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship. If you sell fruit and vegetables commercially in Iowa, the FDA's produce safety rule likely affects you. To find out if you're in compliance and to learn about training classes and resources offered by the Iowa State University Food Safety Team, visit iowasafeproduce.com. Are you in compliance? Learn more at a training session coming to a town near you soon. Visit iowasafeproduce.com for updates. This message was supported by the FDA Grant 5810 and does not necessarily represent the official views of the FDA.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today. Here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Eric Ift with Bayer Crop Science is based in Central Illinois. He tells Brownfield growers should scout for Japanese beetles for percent defoliation.
We have a 30% defoliation economic threshold on soybeans before bloom and about a 20% defoliation level after bloom. And so I just tell the growers in the soybeans, watch for that percent defoliation. When you hit that level and it looks like the populations are going up, it is time to treat. In corn, it's a little bit different. We can see them window pane some leaves once in a while before the silk is out. But really in corn, it's about chewing silk. And if they have that silk chewed off to within a half inch of the ear and the pollination process is 50% or less complete, then it would be time to treat in corn.
He says in most situations, farmers can save money by applying insecticides with other needed treatments.
And in fact, in most times with the life cycle of Japanese beetles on soybeans, it fits right in to apply the insecticide with the fungicide timing. Fungicide timing on soybeans can be anywhere between R2 to R4. So usually, if there's a heavy population of Japanese beetles, it's within that time frame, so we can apply fungicide with it. The only time would be if we were spraying before bloom. And typically, at least in my part of Illinois, we don't see Japanese beetle pressure that high before bloom. And then on corn, lots of times it fits with the fungicide application as well. There is a lot of feeling, though, on soybeans that the stress relief provided by the fungicide and the insecticide together give a higher yield response when they're put together than either one of them individually. There's also a lot of thought by the grower that, well, if I'm going to put a plane in the air, then I want to put both of those products together. If I'm going to pay for that plane anyway, and there is some level of population of insects out there, then it makes sense to have that insecticide in the plain tank as well. We talk through that with the growers, and we make the best both economic decisions for the cost of the application and the economic threshold of the insect whenever possible.
And he says, as with most management efforts, it's all about saving and improving yield.
In corn, it's absolutely critical if they have those silks chewed off, because that's hitting you right where it hurts. That's kernels that aren't pollinated. That's taking yield right out of the equation. In soybeans, it's a little more about stress relief.
That was Eric Ift with Bayer Crop Science. I'm Rhiannon Branch with Managing for Profit on Brownfield.
Here's a look at how the markets closed today. September corn down 11 cents at $4.25. December down 11 at $4.10. March down 10.5 at $4.20.5, and May down 9.5 cents to $4.26. August soybeans down 14 3/4 to $8.64. September down 15 1/4 to $8.69. November beans down 15 1/4 to $8.81.5. January down 15 cents at $8.95. September wheat down a dime to $4.87 1/4. Soybean meal down $2.10 a ton at $2.98.20. August live cattle down $1.20 at $106.90. October down $1.42 to $107.65. August feeders down $1.57 at $141.52. September down $1.60 at $142.45. August lean hogs down $2.97 at $79.32, and October down the $3 limit to close at $71. From the farm desk, I'm Dwayne Murley.
Ernie's Harley Davidson, Cactus Family Farms, and Alpha Media present our Hogs for Heroes Honor Ride Saturday, August 10th. Be at Fort Dodge Ford between 9 and 10:30 to register. Then it's kickstands up for 150 miles of wide open fun on the road. Our Hogs for Heroes stops include the Co-op Bar and Grill in Pomeroy, River Valley Orchards in Humboldt, Johnny's Bar and Grill in Wesley, the Blue Moose Saloon in Renwick, Ernie's Harley Davidson in Algona, and Miller's Landing in Humboldt, where you can listen to live music, eat great food, and bid on your favorite items in the silent auction. Entry fee is just $15 a rider or $25 a couple. All proceeds go to the Brushy Creek Honor Flight. Get a free Hogs for Heroes t-shirt while supplies last. Pre-register until August 8th at yourfortdodge.com to reserve your spot and t-shirt. This special event is sponsored in part by the Western Edge in Humboldt, Iowa Outdoor Store, Hardware and Rental, Fort Dodge, Riddle's Jewelry, Fort Dodge, and Zinnel Roofing, Humboldt. Fire up your bike, your car, your truck, even your minivan for the Hogs for Heroes Honor Ride, hosted by Ernie's Harley Davidson, Cactus Family Farms, and Alpha Media. We ride so they can fly.
Hey, thanks for listening. We'll talk tomorrow again at 2 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock right now, and you're listening to KVFD in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Thank you.
It's everything digital on the Kim Komando Show every Saturday from 11 to 2 on the voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400, KVFD, Fort Dodge.
Taking action against a rogue nation. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A new round of sanctions against Iran. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, the sanctions specifically target Iran's foreign minister, Mohammad Javad Zarif. It's about a month removed from sanctions imposed by President Trump on Iran's leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Zarif, as foreign minister, is Iran's spokesman on the world stage. U.S. officials say the sanctions will not affect his ability to fulfill United Nations duties in New York. However, Zarif says he has no U.S. assets or other interests outside of his own country. Zarif responded on Twitter, thanking the U.S. for considering him a threat to the American agenda, Lisa.
Gernal, the second batch of Democrats will hit the debate stage tonight in Detroit in about 2 hours, where frontrunner Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris will appear together again. As expected, the Fed cutting interest rates by 1/4 percentage point.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
The outlook for the U.S. economy remains favorable, and this action is designed to support that outlook.
It's the first rate cut since December of 2008 during the depths of the Great Recession, when the Fed slashed its rate to a record low of near zero and kept it there until 2015.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. The market's down sharply on the news. The Dow lost 333. The Nasdaq fell 98. The S&P off 32. President Trump tweeting that what the market wanted to hear from Jay Powell and the Federal Reserve was that this was the beginning of a lengthy and aggressive rate-cutting cycle, which would keep pace with China, the European Union, and other countries around the world. Police in Canada scaling back the search for 2 teenagers wanted in the deaths of 3 people. 19-year-old Cam McLeod and 18-year-old Briar Smirgelski have been on the run for weeks.
A number of tactical resources and specialized assets will remain positioned in the Gillam area and will continue the efforts to locate the murder suspect.
This is Fox News.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. I've got great news. Mortgage interest rates have dropped. So if you're thinking about buying a home, right now is the time to lock that low rate, even before you find the home of your dreams. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
With your KVFD News Update, I'm Rob Jones. Webster County Sheriff Jim Stubbs said yesterday the department is looking into possible leads in the ongoing search for a suspect who over the weekend crashed a truck that is believed to have been stolen out of Iowa County. After crashing the 2007 Chevy Silverado this past Saturday, it's believed that the man ran into a cornfield. He then later was picked up on surveillance footage on Sampson Avenue. Law enforcement believes the suspect entered a motor home in the area looking for keys to a nearby shed. That incident was reported to local law enforcement. A description of the man has been released. He's believed to be a middle-aged Caucasian, about 6 feet tall with a heavy build. He was last seen wearing a plaid button-up shirt and dark-colored pants. Sheriff Stubbs says the department has various leads, but nothing concrete as of yet. Anyone with information on the suspect is urged to call Webster County Sheriff's Office at 515-573-1410. That's 515-573-1410. Fort Dodge City Manager David Furyk was a guest on Divine's Intervention with Mike Divine. He spoke about a plethora of topics. Here's his comments in regards to plans for the old Sears building in the Crossroads Mall.
The Sears owners are wanting the city to do, rebate their TIF and they'll pay for the demolition, and then they have a potential project online for another business, and then there'll probably be several businesses that won't be adjacent to each other, like a strip mall, like what was planned a couple of years ago with Hutton, but more independent businesses, maybe a couple on, there'll probably be either a private drive or some sort of street kind of going probably right through where the Sears would be now to make that connection. So we'll see a couple businesses there. So I think we talked about it a little bit this morning. I think we're going to have a public hearing again on that project in the 12th. Things do move slow and methodical in government. I know we don't have a formal development agreement approved.
Fort Dodge will again be putting on National Night Out coming up next week. This year's edition of the event will be next Tuesday, August the 6th, in the city square here in Fort Dodge, just outside the public library, from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Fort Dodge Police Officer Jolynn Johnson said the event is a collective effort to help lessen crime in the community. Johnson says the Webster County pork producers will be there with food on hand as well. Fort Dodge City Square will host the event for the second time. Johnson says the City Square provides a well-maintained, spacious, and centralized location. National Night Out's objective is to promote partnerships between law enforcement and the community. For KVFD from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Rob Jones.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Nick is in Missouri, starting off this hour. Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
That's great. I need you to talk me into spending my savings to pay off my truck.
Ah, okay. So what would your financial goal be?
Long term, pay the house off next and just continue to invest from there, set myself up for retirement, not everything to worry about.
Could I summarize that by say I'd like to become wealthy?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't really have a number in mind.
Okay,
I just
that's
want
okay.
financial security till the day I die and something for my kids.
You want to build a nest egg so you can retire with dignity and leave an inheritance and be generous.
Sure.
Okay, good. Those are good goals. That's what we teach around here, so that's perfect. Well, then the question becomes, what is the shortest path to that goal? That's what that's
Not
the
giving my money to other people.
No, yeah. Well, it's and then you start studying and say, well, what if wealthy people that started from nothing like you and me, what did wealthy people do to get there, and what is their shortest path? What we've discovered over the years is that your most powerful wealth building tool is your income, and not giving it to someone else in the form of debt is the shortest path to building wealth. Now, having said all, that's why you want to pay off the house. That's why you want to pay off the truck. But you're getting some emotional security from this pile of money that's in your account that you could pay off your truck with. So what do you owe on the truck?
It's just under $24,000 that I owe on the truck.
Okay, and how much money's in savings?
About just shy of $33,000.
Okay, and so you'd have $11,000 left if you did this. No, $9,000
Yeah.
left. I'm sorry, $9,000 left if you did this. Okay.
Right.
All right. And what's your household income?
After taxes, we bring in combined about $56 a month, $5,600.
Okay. All right. And so you're making about $90,000 a year, it sounds like.
Between the two of us, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you got a $90,000 income. Do you have any other payments other than your house and the truck? Debt.
My daughter's in an expensive daycare, but
Well, that's not a debt. That's a monthly bill.
right. No other debt.
Okay. All right. And so if you were doing a written budget and you and your wife sat down and said, okay, if we pay off the truck, our next goal is to make sure our emergency fund is replenished because I'm really nervous only having $9,000. Truck payment is how much?
It's $411. I've been paying $600 a month on it.
Okay. So $600 a month for 10 months would be $6,000, and you'd be back to 15 if you just put back into the account only what you've been paying on the truck. And you can do more than that.
It was smarter to roll that into my mortgage payment because
No.
I'd like to put myself on a.
No, you need to build your emergency fund back up to where you have 3 to 6 months of expenses once you're debt free other than the house. Then I want you to start putting 15% of your income into retirement. Are you putting anything into retirement now?
No, I started listening to you at the first of the year, and I met with some of your smart investors and got a lot of great information there.
Okay.
But you're always hounding on paying off debt.
I am.
So I've been hung up on this for 3 months, and
I
I'm
am,
finally
so-
calling you. So
That's okay. That's okay. I'm just talking
I
it through
put
with
my
you.
wife through
Here's
7
the
years
thing.
of college
Here's the thing. The way this feels to you is like you're going to live with only $9,000 in your account for the rest of your life. The way it feels to me is you're going to live with $9,000 in your account for less than a year because you're going to have built it back up very quickly. This is not really that big a move if you look at it that way.
I know. I'm just so proud of that stability because I put my wife through college and built a business from scratch and lived in my truck at one point. And
Then sell the
it took
truck.
a lot of hard work.
Then sell the truck.
Either spend the savings or sell the truck.
Yeah. You need to make a call.
Well, I commute 40,000 miles a year, so I'll have to keep the truck. I guess I'm going to have to spend the savings.
Well, whatever you drive, you're destroying with that many miles. So doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You're going to be driving a
that's
high mileage junky truck before long anyway.
Well, that was another question I had after paying off the truck because I have to have a truck that's able to do some pulling. Would it be wise to spend $2,000-$3,000 on a little gas sipper that'll get me around for a few years to make this truck last longer?
You have to have a truck for your job?
No, I have an expensive hobby and I have to drag trailers all over the state.
Oh, okay.
All right, I don't have to, I suppose. It's a hobby though.
I got you. Okay. Well, as long as you know what you're spending on your hobby and you're okay with that while you're doing these other goals.
Yes, that's all part of the budget. And
Well, I mean, you're spending $25,000 on a truck that hauls stuff 6 times a year. That's $3,000 a haul. You could pay somebody to do it cheaper.
yeah, it's twice a month, but I understand the point you're making.
Yeah. Either way,
And I could
you
down-
just need to really think about it because you're destroying a very expensive truck driving it. So you need to separate the truck decision and the hobby as 2 separate decisions. And the other thing is whatever you drive, you're destroying its value with 40,000 miles a year. So I would not be driving a nice truck and destroy that value of that thing. So yeah, if you keep it, you need to get you a $5,000 car that you destroy. Well, because you're putting so many miles on whatever it is. I mean, whatever you drive becomes worthless very quickly when you put that many miles on it because you're a road warrior. So you got about 3 different or 4 different things going on here that you've got to work your way through. The hobby, separate that over there. This is what I'm willing to pay for that hobby, $25,000 of my savings so that I have a truck to do my hobby. That's what you're saying. And that's okay, but you need to say that out loud and look at yourself in the mirror. And because what it amounts to is you've been justifying the truck saying you need that for work, and you don't need it for work. You need a $5,000 car for work. That's the thing. Or a $7,000 car or something like that. So if I were in your shoes, I would sell the truck, put the hobby on hold for a little while and hit some of these financial goals. And then I'd kick my hobby back in a couple of years because this hobby's taking a lot of your money right now. That's what it sounds like. But you do whatever you want. I'll still be friends with you either way. We appreciate you calling. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for joining us, America. You know, one of the things we do is, and he did that, I've done that, and you've done that, is we, especially in America, we love our cars. We love cars. And guys are the worst. Guys love cars. I mean, ladies, they don't love cars. They just think they're a really large purse with wheels. I mean, but guys, we love our cars, and we will justify, rationalize our butts off on why we, in quotes, need a car. And I do it, you do it, and you got to be real careful with cars because they're the largest thing we buy that goes down in value. Now, I've got some nice cars now, but I drove like no one else for a while, so now I can drive like no one else. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey folks, cut the cord on long-term contracts and save big on your monthly bills by switching your cell phone service to Pure Talk USA. Pure Talk USA has the same great coverage with half the price of other brands and no contracts. Switching to Pure Talk is a great way to stay on budget. Try it risk-free today. Visit puretalkusa.com or call 844-862-3677. Enter the promo code RADIO and receive 50% off your first month.
Summer is almost over. It's time for you and your kids to get organized and get control of your money. Right now in the online store at DaveRamsey.com, we're having a back-to-school sale. You can get up to 69% off our best sellers, kids products, envelope systems, college books, and more. So go to the online store at DaveRamsey.com today or call us at 888-22-PEACE because our back-to-school sale ends very soon. 888-227-3223.
I love the real estate business, and I love helping you guys buy houses. I know buying a house these days is a complicated process. There's all this bad information easily accessible on the internet. You don't know what's true and what's not. I get it. It's completely overwhelming. That's why my team put together our tried and true step-by-step home buying guide to help you make the process as simple as possible. It's free and includes everything from calculating how much house you can afford to uncovering what to expect after you sign on the dotted line. We'll also help you find a trusted, high-caliber, endorsed local provider real estate agent in your area when you're ready to buy. Just visit DaveRamsey.com/homebuyer's guide to get your free plan. That's DaveRamsey.com/homebuyer's guide. Owning your own home should be a blessing. Make sure you do it right. DaveRamsey.com/homebuyer'sguide.
Radio Iowa, I'm Dar Danielson. A 22-year-old from the small Poweshiek County town of Malcolm was drowned in Florida at his honeymoon. OK Henderson reports.
Dalton Cottrell of Malcolm and his bride Cheyenne had just completed their junior year at Faith Baptist Bible College in Ankeny. The pastors in training got married this past Saturday in Kansas City, Missouri. Their school posted a message on its website announcing Cottrell and his wife were swimming in the ocean Tuesday night near St. Augustine, Florida, when the couple was swept out in the current. Radio Iowa, I'm OK Henderson.
Then American Energy launching what it calls a first-of-its-kind electric vehicle fast charging network across the state. Spokesperson Tina Hoffman.
People feel like they don't know where the next charger will be or how far they can get before they, need to recharge to reach their destination. There's a fear of investing in that electric vehicle.
Go to radioiowa.com to see a list of the cities that are proposed for the charging stations. Radio Iowa, I'm Dar Daniels.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when it's dry or windy. Be careful burning yard waste, because wildfires can even start in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more.